Alrighty. Sweet. Welcome, Braden. I'm glad you could join us. Seems like a lot of other people are going to be watching this later, but I'm glad you were here live. This is our Spring 2020 Post-Acceptance webinar for our incoming exchange students. My name is Alyssa Johnson, and Sarah Quinn is also with me to help me get through this PowerPoint. Awesome. So
before we dive in, can you hear us okay, Braden, and see the screen? You could just type in the text box and let us know.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, sure. We can hear you. Perfect.
Are you able to hear us and see the screen okay?
Yeah, I can.
Perfect. Wonderful. Yeah, let's get started. Great. So, yep, like I said, my name is Alyssa Johnson. I am a graduate of University of Georgia. During my time here, I did an exchange program at University of Hohenheim in Germany, which is really cool. And I've been working here since July, so I'm still pretty new, but really loving it.
And my name is Sarah Quinn. I am also an alumna of UGA. I graduated a little while ago in 2011. And during my time, I studied abroad for an entire semester at our campus in Cortona, Italy. I've been here at the Office of Global Engagement as a Global Education Advisor since June 2018. I was handling incoming exchanges prior to Alyssa's arrival, so she's really taken it over and is running with it at this point. But in case she's ever out of the office, I'm always happy to be back up and answer any questions you all have.
Sure, thank you.
Great. Well, today we're going to be talking about a few different things in terms of our post-decision. So you and all the other exchange students who complete their applications are good to be accepted to the university. Oops. Oh, we have a new person. Awesome. Welcome. Oh, what you doing, Sarah?
Sorry, guys. Just gonna go ahead and mute everyone. Okay, there we go.
Okay, great. So today we're going to be talking about the CityWay portal, what else you need to complete on that. We have our staff from immigration here to talk a bit about those DS 2019 forms and how to get all that stuff straightened out. We'll talk about stuff you need to know, especially when you're on campus, like student accounts, course registration, which you guys are turning in by November 15th. A little bit about the UGA email address, housing, student account payments, health insurance meal plan, and once you get here on campus, arriving and engaging with international student life through orientation.
So we'll go ahead and start out with the post-decision documents in our Study Away portal. At this point, all of you have been accepted.
Well, we're waiting on 3 official acceptances, but you are accepted in the process.
So most of you all have had that status change in the portal to where you're accepted. And once that happens, you'll see an additional set of questionnaires, signature documents, and material submissions that you will need to fill out, preferably sooner rather than later, but definitely before your arrival. And just to refresh your memories, the questionnaires are going to be those text fields that you enter answers into. The signature documents are going to be things that you just read and agree to, and then material submissions will be separate documents that you upload. And as you can see here, many fewer items than your pre-decision documents. We're going to be having a single questionnaire for you, a few signature documents, and then just 3 additional material submissions. So for all of our undergraduate applicants, that questionnaire that you all are going to fill out is the Incoming Exchange Student Arrival Questionnaire. These are prompting you for specific details about when you'll be arriving to Atlanta and how you're planning on getting to Athens, Georgia. So Alyssa will communicate with you specific dates by which you need to submit this information. We know at this point many of you might not have your plane tickets purchased, but as soon as you all do firm up that information, please go ahead and enter it into this questionnaire and submit it. In addition, we have some signature documents. So these are information prompts just to provide you with a little bit more guidance through the process. So there's information about submitting additional course requests, some information about how to clear your holds in Athena pre-registration. We're going to also provide you with some housing registration instructions for those of you who are interested in securing a space on campus. And then just some additional information about incoming exchange course registration. These are all topics we'll be going into in depth as well here, but if you ever need to refer back to them, it's really helpful just to have that information at your fingertips in the portal. So you do have 3 additional material submissions. Similarly to your pre-decision documents, you'll be completing these and then uploading them using the attached documents mechanism that you're seeing on the right side of this screen. The first one is ISL orientation. We'll go a little bit more into depth in terms of what this orientation is, but if you all are planning to participate, we'll just want to see that you have a receipt of signing up from that, so a screenshot of an email is fine. We know you all have been working on your UGA health and immunization history and TB screening forms. As soon as those are complete, you can upload them as well. And then UGA housing registration is kind of similarly to ISL orientation. If you have successfully signed up for on-campus housing, you'll go ahead and provide us with a screenshot of that confirmation email. For our graduate students, the same questionnaire, you'll be filling that out, and then there are fewer signature documents. So just a quick information about clearing holds in Athena, and then understanding housing registration, because it is slightly different for our graduate students. We have the same material submissions for you all to upload as well. Are there any questions about this time regarding the post-decision documents in the Study Away portal? You can go ahead and type them. Oops. All right, I'm not seeing any questions. I don't think we have any questions, so we'll go ahead and move to the next portion of the presentation. I will be stopping periodically like this after each section. Oh, we do have a question. Oh, no question.
Thank you.
Thank you for confirming. So we will be stopping like this after every section just so we can answer questions immediately, and then there will be a section for questions at the very end of the presentation. So please don't feel like you need to wait until the end to ask any questions you have.
Great, so now we'll hear from Jennifer Beasley, who works with our immigration at UGA.
Good morning, everybody. Again, my name is Jennifer Beasley. I'm an international student and scholar advisor here at UGA. I work in the immigration department. Me and 2 of my colleagues are responsible for issuing your DS 2019 forms that you'll use to apply for your J1 visas. Most of you should have already received an email with directions on how to request this form through a program called iStart. If you have not received that email yet, please email the address you see here on the screen, immigration@uga.edu, and we'll be sure to get that email out to you since time is of the essence at this point. So here, basically, is a screenshot of the iStart system. Again, as soon as you receive that email with the login information, you want to get this process done as quickly as possible. Some of the items that we'll require from you is a copy of a valid passport, and that should be your ID page that shows the expiration date, as well as your biographical information. We'll also require that you show us evidence of funding. This means that you show us that you have enough money to cover your stay while you're visiting UGA. If the funding document is not in your name, we also need a letter from your sponsor. So an example would be if your parents are providing a funding document like a bank statement, They also need to write a letter stating how much of those funds are available to you while you study in the United States. Those bank statements should not be older than 6 months.
Oh, is it
6 months, yeah, we can go 6 months. That's what the embassy will require, so that's just a little typo there. And then, so once you submit all those items into the iStart request, we'll receive notification that you have completed the process, and we'll issue you the DS 2019 form in CBIS. Once we issue that form, you'll have something called the CBIS number. We'll send you an email with the CBIS number, and you'll use that number to pay your CBIS fee, which is also known as the I-901 fee. Once that fee is paid, you complete the DS 160 form to schedule your visa appointment. And then from there, the rest of the process is up to the embassy. They will actually review your documents and issue you the J1 visa inside your passport. And here is a breakdown of the amount of funds that you need to show for us to be able to issue your DS 2019 form. You can see the breakdown here, but the total needs to be $9,048. And again, that's just as far as living expenses go and personal expenses, that's a pretty medium number for the cost of living in Athens, Georgia. Health insurance is, that's pretty firm, that's in stone. And you know, once we have all that, we can go ahead and issue your document. Are there any questions about the immigration process? And one more thing I want to add too, once you arrive in the United States, you'll need to check in with our office through the iStart program. You'll start receiving emails from us. I suggest you read every single one of them because the check-in process is very important. Once that check-in process is done, we'll notify the government that you're here and that you've reported to us, and we'll activate your CBIS record. So your CBIS record and your immigration status will not be active until you complete that check-in process. That's very important because if you're gonna apply for social security number or driver's license, you need to have an active CBIS record. Are there any questions about this process? Okay, well, if there's no questions, I'm gonna go ahead and hand it off back to your Ed-Abroad advisors.
Great, thank you so much, Jennifer. Yeah, like she said, make sure you read all those emails from immigration. Very important. Great, so talking a little about course registration, all you guys have at least submitted one course request, which is awesome. When you come to November 25th, once that registration opens, you'll log into athena.uj.edu, and this is where you'll actually register for courses. So first, in order to register for these courses, there is a clearance method for holds on your account. Two of them are going to be cleared by you actually. So one is the emergency contact hold and the student acknowledgement hold. So make sure you get those done once you log into your account. And then the health center hold is cleared by you submitting those health immunization documents and TB screening forms. So if you're uploading those forms and not hearing from you, that means you're good to go. I will let you know if issues with your forms, but that hold will be cleared before November 25th, so you can register for courses on time as long as you do all the required documents. For our graduate students, you do have another hold that's cleared by the graduate school once you're admitted. And then the VLP hold is something that we actually clear for you beforehand since you aren't on campus yet, because this is a verification of lawful presence. So that means you have to be on campus to cite classes, but since you guys are abroad right now, that's all right. We temporarily lift that hold once you have all your required documents with us. And we'll go over those dates in just a sec. But once you get back to campus, you can edit your schedule. Once you check in with UGA, like she was mentioning with immigration, then you'll be able to edit your schedule again and sign up for more classes. But yeah, like I was saying, course registration opens for exchange students on November 25th, and that VLP hold will be lifted through December 20th. So between November 25th and December 20th, you can register for courses, but after December 20th, you will not be able to register for any more courses or change your schedule until you arrive on campus and check in through iStart. In terms of the status of your course requests, I will be reaching out to you about 2 weeks before with the results on if you got those approvals for your courses and how to register for those courses. Something really, really important, in order to comply with your J-1 visa regulations, undergraduates must have a minimum of 12 hours of credit, and that's about 3 classes, 3 or 4 classes. Graduates can be a minimum of 9 hours without assistantships or 12 hours with assistantships. So, and then a little note here, we've got a few questions in the past about online courses. You can enroll in a maximum of 1 online course. You can't do any more because of visa regulations. Again, yes, yeah, so and the way to know that it's an online course is there's a little E on the course number. So if you ran out of room on that course request, you can still request additional courses. You can do that with the form link here. And like I mentioned, you can adjust your schedule once you get to UGA, and we have a period called drop add. Once classes start, you get to a class, maybe you end up not liking it or you need to take a different class, you can do that during the period January 7th through 13th. And then withdrawal, the withdrawal deadline, what that means is you can actually cancel your enrollment in a class up to March 20th, and they will not get a grade for it. The only caveat with that is you do have to remain at that 12 hours of credit. So if you're at 12 hours, you can't really drop the class. And just a reminder, course requests have to go through our office, so using that form or a direct email to me. Don't contact any professors or staff because we really try to streamline that process for you, and they don't know sometimes how to deal with course requests from exchange students, so just let it go through us and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Great, are there any questions about registration for classes and course requests? Awesome. Well, you can keep asking questions at the end or at the next section as well. Great. So on campus, you'll be using primarily your UGA email address. And this is really important because actually your communication with professors and staff has to occur through this address to be professional and to protect that sensitive information. That 81 number that you're assigned when you got accepted to UGA, it is your personal number and should only be shared between your UGA email accounts and shouldn't just be given out to anyone. To log into your UGA email, you will need to set up a UGA My ID, and those instructions you will get via email about how to do that. But if you need a little recap, you can check out the link for the EITS video, and you log in right there. So the EITS help desk is going to be a great resource for anything regarding your email and technology issues you have on campus.
And just a quick note, I think every semester that I worked with incoming exchange students, people would sometimes miss this email. After you submit your application to UGA successfully, not to the StudyAway portal, but to our actual university's admissions office, you should receive an email that prompts you to create your MyID and your UGA email address. So at this point, you all should have gotten this email. If for some reason you haven't gotten the email, maybe you missed it, maybe you went to your junk email, whatever that circumstance is, you can go ahead and get that email resent to you. You'll just have to contact the EITS help desk, and that hyperlink with all of their contact information is at the bottom of this slide. So you can either email them, you can call them. They even have a live chat option, which is super helpful. You can just chat with them while you're in class at your home university or at home at night. Regardless of the time difference, there's usually somebody on there. But anyway, just go ahead and refer those questions directly to EITS, because if you ask us, we're happy to direct you back to them, but we are not the office that is responsible for getting those generated. And you should try and make sure to get those generated activated sooner rather than later.
Great, thank you so much for that insight, Sarah. Awesome. All right, let's keep going. So yeah, this is kind of the landing page for the UGA Mail platform. So you just log in there. And as you can see, this is a little screenshot of how that email looks. I know because all different email inboxes are a bit different. So great. And then something important we want to let you know about, this unfortunately always seems to happen to our exchange students and also to our US students for sure, about phishing emails. So phishing emails are trying to get your personal information and use it for their own gain. You know, they try to make these emails look official. The way to pick out phishing emails is they're asking for your usernames, your passwords, your financial information, personal information that you really don't need to be sharing or should be sharing across the internet. So for example, like anything that's like, oh, within 24 hours, you need to give us your username, or like these are going to be sketchy emails that are going to be categorized as phishing. So keep in mind that UGA will never ask for your password in an email, and that any updates to your password or account are going to take place through the MyID tools and information webpage. If you do see an email that's kind of weird, you can forward it to either our office or the EITS before you click on it, just because you really don't want to get into a mess with giving out your information when you shouldn't. Great, are there any questions about UGA accounts and emails? And welcome to those that just joined us. Awesome, okay, cool. So let's talk about housing. We have on-campus housing and off-campus housing options. And we will do as much as we can to make sure we can secure you on-campus housing if that's what you want to do. But we cannot unfortunately guarantee that. And let us know, on our portal there will be a form where you show us that you do want to live on-campus housing. But if you do want that off-campus housing, just let us know separately too, just so we can start setting you up with some resources to find that. Our on-campus housing situation, we put you in our East Campus Village apartments on campus. There are 4-bedroom suites with, you'll be with 3 other students, so usually we'll pair you with 1 other exchange student and 2 of our UGA students. Application fee is $35 and the semester cost is $3,698. This cost is going to be billed to your student account, and we'll talk about student account payments later, but you only have to pay that once you arrive on campus. And this includes all of your utilities, cable, and internet. By November 1st, I need to know if you are going to be living on campus or off campus. And that's when we'll submit our request to housing and see if we can secure that spot for everyone. In terms of off-campus housing, there are definitely options around Athens. This can be furnished or unfurnished. It is a lot more work on your part because you will need to negotiate those contracts individually and make sure that you can get around the town with transportation. We do have our Athens transit buses that are free to students with a student ID. But they're not necessarily the most reliable or expensive, so just don't be under the impression that it's going to be maybe like European or Asian transportation. If you do want the meal plan on campus, you can be eligible for the commuter plan, which does give you some options to eat on campus. And I'd highly suggest looking at this guide if you're considering an off-campus housing. It's posted by our International Student Life Organization. So this is a floor plan of our East Campus Village suites. Our on-campus apartments are close to the dining halls, the health center, Ramsey Center, which is our fitness center, and different cultural event centers like the Visual and Performing Arts and Georgia Museum of Art. And it's also really close to our intramural fields, which have soccer fields and trails and lakes, so very pretty area. It is also open during university break, so Whenever school is not in session, these dorms are still open, so you don't have to leave. And like I mentioned, it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom. The thing with on-campus housing is you don't have a stove or oven, so if you're planning on not using the meal plan and you want to cook a lot, this might be a little tricky for you. But it is very connected to campus. We have a lot of bus stops. Our campus is really big, if you haven't found that out yet, and we do have a ton of buses that run throughout campus, and so this is a great location to get on a couple different bus stops to get around the classes and such. Great, so this is how you would format your mailing address for an on-campus housing apartment, and you see that our community office for UGA Housing is Rooker Hall, and you can email them for any questions when you're on campus, and they do have a 24-hour help desk, and you can find the number there, and you'll also receive that information when you sign up for housing. So to register for housing, please follow these instructions. Access the housing website, kind of links you through that. Clicking on the doghouse is our platform for that. You're going to sign in with your MyD password, which you have hopefully already created. Register for housing, make sure you're doing the term for resident halls beginning spring 2020. There is that $35 non-refundable registration fee, and that's what you're going to screenshot for us on that confirmation and upload it to your StudyAway portal application so that we know that you've successfully registered for housing. And then make sure you save that page, and you'll be contacted when that spot is confirmed. And again, you'll most likely be with 2 current UGA students and 1 other exchange student. So keep checking your email for information about housing. Like I mentioned, uploading that screenshot, this is what it should look like. Once you do that, you will receive an email. Just moral of the story really for being an exchange student is keep checking your emails, keeping on top of things. We do provide all the information, so it's really up to you to help read it, and help yourself out that way. But of course, if you have any questions, you can keep asking us. Make sure you activate your contract by agreeing to the terms of the housing contract. The housing contract is actually for a whole 11.5 months, but you'll be able to cancel it if you're not staying, of course, for that whole, like into fall and stuff like that. So you won't be charged. You'll just be charged for this semester that you're going to be here. The cancellation deadlines we will notify you of so you don't get any penalties or extra charges. Housing fees, again, will be paid by your UGA student account, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. Great, any questions about housing? All right, perfect, student accounts. So all of our charges and fees associated with your stay at UGA will be added to your student account online. You can get to this through the athena.uga.edu website, and this is also like where you register for courses, so it's a good platform for all things student related. And you'll have to once you get to Athena, you'll have to go through these different tabs and get to your student account and then log in again just for extra security. This is what the student account payment website looks like. So you'll be able to see your balance and the latest statement that you've paid. So the charges to your student account are going to include your meal plan if you sign up for that, your housing contract, the fee associated with housing. There's an international the health insurance is mandatory. You'll see that charge there. The compliance fee, which is only $64. Early move-in doesn't apply to you guys because there's only 1 date for moving into the dorms, and if you're participating in ISL, International Student Life Orientation. Because our exchange program is a tuition exchange, you're not going to be paying tuition, but they do have to, just for purpose of processing accounts, you will see this flash up on your student account at some point, and then it'll be waived. So don't freak out if you've got a couple extra $1,000 on your student account from tuition. You don't have to pay that. And it will be removed once you get to campus. So once you get here, during the International Student Life Orientation and the orientation provided by us, we will talk to you about paying your student account. But you can already start looking ahead by going to the Bursar's website if you'd like. We highly suggest that you do not pay your student account balance prior to your arrival, because there are a lot of things changing once you get here, things being waived. So really just wait until everything's finalized with your student account, and then we can pay it. Great. Any questions about student accounts? And don't worry, you'll hear this again too once you get on campus. Awesome. All right, so health insurance, UGA does require all their students for undergraduates and graduates to have health insurance, and that includes international students holding an F or J visa. You're automatically charged for this health insurance to your Athena account, your student account. Your coverage is going to be from January 1st to July 31st. In order to receive your health insurance card, you must be registered for classes at UGA and have a U.S. address on file in Athena, which is, you'll just update your contact information with your address that you're staying at here. So if you already have a health insurance that you think is sufficient, you can apply for a waiver to get out of the cost of the UGA health insurance. This waiver you can submit once you get to campus, and we'll let you know when the deadline for that waiver is. In order to submit a waiver, you have to be registered for classes, update your your US mailing address in Athena, and have that UGA email set up. Please look at our waiver coverage documents at that website. Oh, my bad, I'm sorry. In terms of coverage, you're going to be active as soon as you get here, essentially. But in order to pay for that, you'll need to get that finalized. And that ID card will come with when you have your 81 number card, your date of birth, and that way you can use it once you're here for any health needs you have. If you have questions about the health insurance plan, you can contact gshiplan@uj.edu and let them know that you're an incoming international student and give them your 81 number. Again, this is over UGA email because I just listened to your number, and they can answer your questions about the health insurance. But the waiver, if that is something you want to try doing, just wait till you get on campus and we'll communicate with you how you do that. All right, questions? All righty. Sweet, so we do offer a really great meal plan here on campus. There's actually 4 dining halls scattered around the large campus that we have. You sign up at dining.uj.edu meal plans. You can choose to have either a commuter or residential plan. Commuters for people living off campus, residential is on campus. You can choose to have a 5 or 7 day meal plan. And this will extend January 2nd through May 11th. So as soon as you arrive on campus, you can start eating at our dining halls. We also have a system called Paw Points, which lets you buy other food through this, like other food on campus that's maybe not the dining halls, but you still have the ability to do that with this meal plan. And they really are considerate of special dietary needs. You know, if you have a class right in the middle of lunch, you actually can opt for a packed lunch. And you can meet with a nutritional counselor if that's something you're interested in doing. This meal plan is going to be charged to your student account once you sign up. So a lot of our exchange students have really enjoyed the meal plan, especially the 7-day meal plan, which lets you eat every day as often as you want, as much as you want. The meals are nice. Some people get a little tired with the options, but they really do try to spice it up. A few people have mentioned how they did not purchase the meal plan. You know, they wanted to have that kitchen and cook on their own, and this is also an option for sure. We do have stores around, and we'll give you more information when you come to campus about how to go shopping here in the US. There's also options to order groceries online, even if that's something you want to do. But yeah, the meal plan has been really great for students. It definitely is a lot easier, you know, if you're busy and really accessible. Great, any questions about the meal plan? All right. Okay, awesome. So your arrival at UGA is just around the corner. It's crazy, it's almost November. Please complete that arrival questionnaire that Sarah talked about earlier in the presentation so that we know when you're coming to campus and can be there to hopefully help you out when you get here. So keep in mind that you will need to arrange transportation from Atlanta, where the airport is, to Athens for our campus. We recommend the Groom Shuttle. You can pull that link up right there. It's a $42 charge for a one-way trip. It's about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. Make sure you select that you're coming to the Georgia Center. That's going to put you right on campus. And that's the Georgia Center in Athens. I would give yourself 3 hours between your arrival time and your estimated shuttle departure time, just so you can get through immigration, baggage, and get to the correct terminal and get to the car. We recommend, if you're attending the ISL International Student Life Orientation, come on January 2nd, and if not, January 5th. These are 2 dates that we will actually be able to pick you up from the Georgia Center, where the Groom Shuttle stops off at. We're going to have some student volunteers there to meet you, so that way they can put your luggage in their car and drive you to your dorm rooms. Of course, this is optional. If you're coming on a day different than this, you'll have to just walk to the dorms probably, or find a different way through Uber or Lyft. But it is really helpful and gets you to meet some people right off the bat. Sweet, so just some things to think about before you leave home. Make sure you know the rules about the airline you're taking in terms of what you can put in your luggage, how much you can put in your luggage. The weather here in Athens is hot and cold. Pack for warm southern weather and also for colder temperatures. A lot of students are surprised. Our buildings are usually really cold in the summer even, because they'll turn down the air conditioning. So a good jacket isn't a bad idea. And think about what you can buy here versus what you won't have. So don't waste your time, waste your space packing blankets and pillows and sheets. You can buy that here at our big Walmart store when you get here. Make sure you confirm your transportation from Atlanta Airport to Athens, and make sure you have all of your immigration documents with you on hand. If you are delayed in your arrival, if something happens with your travel plans, please let us know via email if something changes from that initial portal questionnaire that you filled out. Great, any questions about arrival? All right, let's keep going. So unfortunately, Ben was not able to come and talk to you guys in person, but you will definitely meet him. He's a great guy. He's our assistant director of the International Student Life Organization here on campus. And they host for you an international orientation January 3rd and January 4th for the spring semester. The registration is at isl.uj.edu/orientation. We highly encourage this orientation. It's really fun. It's really a great way to get you integrated into UGA culture and the experience really fast and just get you more comfortable with campus. So these are a few pictures from our orientation this last fall. We did a little scavenger hunt. They did a great job. That ISL orientation, you will also be learning about specific information for exchange students, more information about immigration, taxes, how to deal with cross-cultural adjustment, different housing assistance needs, course registration again, social security cards if that's something you want to apply for, UGA payroll, meaning if you want to maybe get a job here on campus, we'll talk to you about how to do that, and give you just a fun way to look around campus and get to know some more people. During this orientation, we'll be like already moved into your on-campus dorms, and we'll have you be, eating at the dining halls. So really great way to get a great start to your semester. So yep, you can click on that link for registration. It is $75 for the spring 2020 orientation. And make sure you take a screenshot of that receipt and upload it to your study portal so that we know that you're going to ISL orientation. if you're not able to go to ISL orientation, let us know. It's not a big deal. You can come to our shorter, more condensed OXA Global Engagement orientation for exchange students. Great, any questions about ISL? Awesome, you guys will love it. Great, so just a little looking ahead into our timeline for spring semester. So like I mentioned, suggest you arrive on January 2nd. That's also the first day you can check into dorms. You can't check into dorms, the UGA housing, until January 2nd. So that's something to think about when you're planning your trips. ISL orientation will be January 3rd and 4th. January 5th is going to be another date that we'll offer pickup. And we'll be hosting our OXA Global Engagement orientation for those who are not able to go to ISL on January 6th. January 7th is our first day of spring classes. And then I also wanted to highlight we're going to have some special events for our exchange student group. A day hike in Northeast Georgia. We've got some really nice Appalachian Trail mountains. And then also we're going to have a paddle down a local river here, which is really fun. And those will be in April. Our classes for spring 2020 ends April 28th. And then our final exam period is going to be April 30th to May 6th. And then to leave on-campus housing, if you're not extending your time, you need to be out of the dorms by May 9th. Great, any questions about that timeline? Yep, and we'll share with you that timeline again, and also you can find the whole extensive calendar for UGA online. Wonderful. So really appreciate you guys tuning in. And for those of you who are watching later, we're excited to have you here. This is a picture of our office, Office of Global Engagement. We're right on campus. We have a bus, a UGA bus that goes right by our building. And you can always email us directly, or if you can email the exchange email at uga.edu. So thank you so much. And thank you, Sarah, for being here too and giving some assistance.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited to have you all here on campus. We'll make sure to make this presentation available to you all, both via email, via PDF, and then also in this form as well, so that you can review it. Just to emphasize, you know, we've worked with so many groups of exchange students now. We've come to realize some of the common questions, and so we're really working hard to make that information for those common questions available to you all. So hopefully you all will find this useful and be able to refer back to it if you do have any questions. And then of course we're here for you if you can't find what you're looking for. So really looking forward to seeing you all soon.
Great. Awesome. If there are any more questions for us at this point. Great. Well, thank you so much. Feel free to email me if anything pops up, and we will follow up with the presentation in an email. Oh, we got something. Thank you. Yes, thank you for attending. We were really excited to meet you guys. All right. Have a great weekend.